Hello everyone, and welcome to what I am calling the Flop Shop. So this is a live stream where the people on my mailing list sent me their videos that underperformed, and we as a team are going to try and solve them and turn them from 10 out of 10s to solid 1 out of 10s. Although I'm going to be rewriting a lot of your intros, so you won't be able to make that change. But you might be able to change the thumbnail and title with what we do. So anyway, who are these two people with me? Well, these are part of Team Film Booth. So this dude here, this is James. You might have seen him before. James helps me with editing, running, University, Photoshop. He does loads of creative stuff. He produces a course with me. This is Aaron. No, that's Aaron. This is Aaron. Aaron is a Film Booth consultant, so he works with the clients as well. He has one-to-one calls with them. He helps me on Film Booth. And yeah, he also helps me run one of the cohorts. So what we're going to do, we are going to, now I've done that introduction, we're going to jump in and we are going to start giving some feedback that's hopefully going to help. So let me just push the right button. Aaron, did you say we were live?
Yes, it's all working.
The secret code of putting your thumb up if it was working, I missed. So
okay, fair enough.
These always go
looking at me at all times.
These always go wrong. So anyway, we're going to fire up with our first person in the Flop Shop. A little introduction here. What did they say? They left a little form to say what they didn't think worked, and I think the plan here, they're expecting to try and get about 4,000 videos on it, views on the video. This is the video in question, Disney's Wish. So let me just, first things first, this was their 10 out of 10 flop. Let's have a little tear down of the packaging. Any reasons why you think this would not have got people to click? Aaron. Pick you at random.
Alphabetical, got it. Yeah, I mean, visually, there's nothing that really draws in the eye. I can imagine, especially this being on the homepage, there's nothing that really centers my focus that makes me know what it is about other than the word wish. And obviously, there's a Disney character in there. But I would say I would want to see more of what makes the movie really intriguing, right? Something really eye-catching, and maybe a little more of an extreme facial expression if it's a reaction video, but it just doesn't feel like it draws me in enough.
Yeah, James, from a design point of view, what's not working?
Yeah, I know they got the Little Mermaid one, just down and left one, but I couldn't tell that Wish was a Disney, and so that logo is very hidden. You think about like the iconic Disney and Disney Plus logos and stuff, you could definitely have that as a white bit of text or something, and there's too many overlapping elements, I think, so it's not got the clear space for me to know what it's talking about. Yeah, and I agree with that. The reaction and stuff is it's not the most captivating.
So the problem
and
here
I've never
is,
heard of it.
Yeah, that's true. So that's actually quite important. So when you are social hacking and talking about films and brands and famous people, a lot of the click power will depend on how well known that film is. And this is a new film coming out, which maybe doesn't have as much hype yet. But the biggest problem to me is a couple of things. There's no hero in the image. The first thing that should stick out in your image is the thing that matters the most to your audience, which is going to get them to click. And you guys are the hero in the image. The first thing I notice is, as a cold viewer, I'm not interested in you. I'm interested in the Disney bit of this. You guys need to win me over to make you interested over the long term. So we need to get this character much bigger. We need to get the Disney logo much bigger, and we need to make it less crowded. So what's called design, it's hierarchy. What's the thing that sticks out first, and how do we use design to get those elements to stick out? So we need the young lady bigger to pop. We need the Disney sign bigger. Maybe reduce some of the clutter or cut her out so that she really sticks out, and then have you guys as the secondary thing. And then I think with the title as well, there's just not enough drama. It's like Disney's Wish 2023 official teaser reaction. So to me, I would put something along the lines of, is this Disney's best film since The Lion King? Live reaction, something like that, to give it a little bit more like drama and make people go, ooh, is it going to be the best? So anyway, let's have a hop inside. What we're going to do is I'm going to play intros, and I'm actually going to play parts of content, so you guys can play along at home. And we're going to watch it, and I have actually rewritten the intros of every video that we look at today, with all sorts of different niches. And I'm going to kind of help you guys understand how to write better intros and how to make content that gets people to the end, maybe based on that intro. So here we go. Hopefully this works okay.
Welcome Galaxy Geeks, it's Luke.
It's Audrey.
And today we're doing the trailer reaction to Wish. This is a new movie coming out this year by Disney. If you haven't already, hit the like button, comment below your thoughts of the trailer, and let's dive in.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. First thing first, Aaron, what stuck out to you? If we just talk on the production level so far, was there any production issues that stuck out?
Yeah, I think the main thing that I noticed was that the voices were really difficult to hear, especially in comparison to the little clip of the Make This Wish song that I don't know the movie yet, so I don't know. So it was really actually suddenly very hard to hear the voices, and I mean that's the main thing I noticed.
Yeah. James, anything from a production point of view that you think could be helpful?
Yeah, agree with the sound. That was because you would have turned your speaker down if you were at a set volume, and then suddenly they're too quiet. So yeah, definitely try and get that balance right. I mean, I don't want to go too much into background clutter and that sort of stuff, do I?
It sounds like you do, James. Go on then. You can have one in-depth background clutter comment.
I can.
Yeah, just
Okay.
the one. You can't use it on any of the other ones. This is the one you can use
Okay.
it on. Okay, you gonna use it?
Yeah, I'll use it.
Okay, go on then. What's the problem with the background?
Just quickly, I think well, it's all too sharp, so there's too much for me to look at. There's like almost like foreheads because you've got the helmets behind, and because there's not the depth of field that we require to separate you from the background, it's looking like it's all too busy. You need to reduce the aperture down to f2.8 or whatever, or if you've got the room in this space to bring yourself forward more so there's more blur. And then I'm not sure what that poster on the right is, but it's a little bit. Is that like a space poster? Batman? I can see a Batman logo there, I think. I'm not sure, but it's a bit off-putting. I think you just need to be... That navy blue wall would look cool if it was all navy blue with that bright teal light, the whole width across.
Yeah. So what you're saying is declutter it a little bit because there's too much
Declutter,
going on.
yeah.
I think you're right. So I'm just going to pull up on one thing. This is something I noticed because when I used to teach people presenting, it was the sort of thing we used to tell them off for all the time. So the start of this, I lost my attention straight away because it looks like I was intruding. So it looks like we caught you not paying attention to the camera. Ready? Oh, sorry. It's like, did we interrupt you there? So your hand was here, and I think just hit record, give yourself some time to be composed, and then hit in. Because this is one of those little things that made me suddenly think, you guys were like maybe more new to this or something. I want you guys to come across as something slick straight away. And then one little thing I want to point out is this. So intro. Aaron, what do you think of chapters in general?
I mean, in my head, it makes me more likely to skip ahead because I can see when you stop talking about the thing I don't care about and you start talking about the thing that I do care about, so I can skip to that point.
Yeah.
I know there's some like automated chapters as well, so I don't know exactly how that plays into that, but I would have almost avoid using them as much as possible so that people don't know what the next bit is that's coming up.
Yeah, so in terms of these chapters along the bottom, look, I don't know if there's a right or a wrong. All I do know is don't call your intro the intro. That's like telling people, look, this is the bit you skip to. You kind of want your intro. Your intro is so important for getting people to the end. We don't want to give them a chance to skip because they will, because people are so like, oh, just get on with it. But if you write a good intro, you'll captivate them to not want to just say get on with it, and then you're more likely to get them to the end, which we'll be talking about later when we look at more intros. So if you're doing these chapters, maybe come up with something more intriguing rather than the word intro, just to sort of help them along. So,
Is there a chance that's an auto one from YouTube generated?
maybe, but I think I turned them off, and I'd probably recommend that too. There's another thing I want to talk to you about. So let's just watch this again.
Welcome Galaxy Geeks, it's Luke.
It's Audrey.
And today we're doing the trailer reaction to Wish. This is a new movie coming out this year by Disney. If you haven't already, hit the like button, comment below your thoughts of the trailer, and let's...
Okay. Imagine you went on Tinder and met someone. You said, yeah, let's go on a date. And you walked into the room and you sat down, and the first thing you said was, give us a snog. How long would they be sticking around for? You need to earn that snog, right? You've got to get them some drinks, you've got to tell them some jokes. So you can't just jump in and start snogging people. That's what you did here. You said, oh, by the way, give me a like and a comment first. you're trying to snog me too soon. Ask for that later on down here. And you actually did it in quite a few of your videos as well. So look, I don't think anyone's going to hit the like button until they've, found a reason to. So all I would say is, like, let's write an introduction and make a video that makes them really want to hit that like button.
Snog you?
Sorry? Snog me, yeah. I mean,
Snog you, yeah.
that's not, that's on my other channel. So let me just, you guys sit and you watch this video and you react to it. And one of the questions I have is, why is it so small down here? Is there any way that we could make you guys, make it bigger? It felt kind of like, why is it along the bottom? I can't play it because I might get a copyright issue. So you guys are just going to have to pretend what happens in this clip. But what we've got here is some important information. It's like from people who made Beauty and the Beast and whatnot. And then we come to your final thoughts. And the problem I have with your final thoughts is, it wasn't a satisfying ending. There wasn't really anything that I agreed with or could get excited by. So
I really liked it. It was cute. All right, where's the voice? The goat's voice.
So you start talking about the characters and stuff. So look, I think the main problem with this video is there was nothing in it that made me want to get to the end with a level of excitement I think you should try and aim for in a YouTube video. Now, I know reaction videos sometimes have different different expectations from the viewers, but I thought, what if this video was pitched differently and we wrote an intro where it was all about getting to the end and the viewer really wanted to feel part of that journey? So I've written a different one. I'll read it to you now, and then we'll just tear it apart a little bit. And by the way, I didn't spend the hours on this intro that I might usually, so it might not be perfect, but you should hopefully get the idea. So this is me starting the reaction video. Have you ever wondered if Disney would ever make better musicals than The Lion King or Frozen? Would it even be possible? Well, in 2023, Disney are dropping Wish, their latest film, which critics are saying is so good, it makes sliced bread look like an okay idea. So today, we're going to react to the Wish trailer to help you decide if you're likely to put a new Disney film at the top of your list this year, or will it be just another Olaf's Frozen adventure? And then the other person can go, what's that? And then you would reply and say, exactly. And then you hit. So we suddenly have a point, right? You're getting the viewers in to make a decision. They're gonna start thinking, does this look better than The Lion King? Does this look better than, what was the other one I said? Frozen. And then at the end, your reaction has a point. It's pinned to something. So you can say stuff like, and actually what you talked about here is you started talking about the voice actors, and you started saying stuff like, who is that voice actor? And I would have done a bit of research and come back and been like, I'm excited by this, and the reason I think it might be better than Frozen is because they have got the person who voiced Beauty in Beauty and the Beast. And she's got an amazing voice. And then you can start adding this stuff on, and the viewer's going to be thinking, wow, this sounds amazing, or they're going to be thinking, no, this doesn't sound so great. And I just feel like it might have given it a bit more substance and a bit more purpose. James, would you have watched my reaction video about Wish?
Oh, yeah. Because I know there's jokes, there's the bread, there's the bit where you probably would stop the music and show a clip of Olaf looking sad or something.
Do you just edit this in your head? I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that you edited my script in your head. That's good. I mean, that's what I do when I'm writing a script. I'm usually editing it in my head at the same time. Aaron, any thoughts? Would you watch my Wish reaction video?
Yeah. Much more than the original, I think, because it adds some form of stakes to it, that's what's going to make me keep watching rather than just, we watched this trailer, I might as well watch the trailer and have my own reaction to it. So I want something more than that. Yeah,
good. So I think when you guys, and we're going to look at this in the next video too, is always be thinking, how can we involve the viewer more in this? Because it is always about the viewer. How can we plant something at the beginning of our video that they're going to want to stick around to at the end? And I hope that my little intro did that. If it didn't, I'm useless. Right, so we are going to hop on to our next contestant. We're going to... Right, this is a very...
Can I just say one thing on the thumbnails?
Yeah, sure.
I just noticed on the ones that are on screen, these guys are the same size as all the characters, and it almost looks like, because they're all photos of characters, they're part of the film or something.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Like
Yes.
I couldn't tell the difference to, like, especially the one below, like with Chris Pratt, and then the Little Mermaid. It's like they're there, and it's like, yeah, the hierarchy again. It just caught my eye that they're bigger than or as big.
Yeah, that makes
And it
sense.
would be the other
They're
way
becoming part of the poster. Yeah, which it kind of works in terms of like design. It looks cool, but it might not necessarily be the most effective thing for a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Mr. Michael Tobin, who some of you guys might recognise. So I'm just going to walk you through this video. So Michael makes videos about production, and he'd hoped this video was going to get about 25,000 views. And I love how honest he's been here. He believed it would be an accelerant for the channel. I wanted to showcase personal growth as a creative and getting back to just loving filmmaking. In hindsight, my biggest mistake is I think I should have included talking about a piece of tech, since that's my channel, and I'm not a personality or a travel channel. I've chalked it up to a great video on the wrong channel. Still makes me sad though. I've gone through a dozen title changes and about 7 thumbnails, spent on 50 hours on this edit, and it's one of my most proud videos regardless of the stats. I think we've all been there. We make that video, it's like, this is so good, it's gonna fly, and then it's like, everyone hated it, no one clicked on it. So look, let's look at why. I've actually got some stuff for you that I think you could have made this video work. Where did it go? Bear with me one sec. Oh, it was a long time ago and I don't think I've got the thumbnail. I'm just going to keep scrolling down. There it is. So to start off with, this thumbnail is cool. Nick Crystal did something similar and it worked. Aaron, is there anything that you want to talk about in regards to this just packaging here on the right?
Yeah, I don't think like the packaging doesn't feel connected to each other for me. It's Vancouver shot on a Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro, which in my head means, oh, this is going to be really cinematic footage, blah, 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 blah. And then the actual thumbnail is more of like an action vlog shot where it's like, I went skydiving for the first time or whatever it is, which feels a bit disconnected for me. I would either want the title being so professional, then the image also be that kind of like professional, like look at this footage of Vancouver, or for the title to reflect the I did something crazy and filmed it with a very fancy camera.
Yeah. So I think that was what Michael was saying is kind of spot on. You know, he does a lot on Resolve, editing. This one had a different vibe to it straight away. But I think we needed some. It's too much titled like a short film, right? So you do see these videos in this niche do quite well, and they're like silence, and it's just like called that, and it's got this beautiful thumbnail, and you're kind of like, what the heck would that mean? But it's really artsy, and people love it. And it's almost like you went for that approach. It's got a keyword in there, but it's not really telling us much of a story. So sometimes you see videos like this become quite slow burners, and especially when people start researching the cameras, they like to watch like a short film shot on that camera to get a vibe for it. But I totally agree with everything you said about the thumbnail as well. There's a bit of a disconnect. James, anything you want to add?
Yeah, totally. It's it just when you're scrolling, it's such a. I don't know what the other previous thumbnails were because you said he did lots of versions, but that one's such a departure from the rest of the channel. Like, where's this blue suddenly come from compared to all the other thumbnails?
Blue?
It just makes
On my channel?
yeah, that sky, that GoPro shot.
My viewers hate blue.
It's suddenly cheapened the whole thing. When it could have been, I don't know what the previous versions were, so it could have been, you know, the hero should be obviously the Blackmagic, no?
If it is a video, but it's not. And we're going to look at that when we rewrite his intro, because this is not a video about a camera. This is actually a video you would love if it was positioned right. And I would love. It's very, it resonated with me a lot. I think it would resonate with most YouTubers, especially like professional ones or full-time ones. So I still think there is the right video in here, and I think you were on the right path. I think a couple of things just went wrong. Just a couple of things, right? I did this, if anyone saw me interview Josh Mayo, I ask myself, what's 3 questions a viewer's going to want to know the answer to when they click on this? And when we look at this, for me, it would probably, based on that title, it would be, what does the Blackmagic footage look like? That's all I care about seeing. Is there anything in your head, Aaron, that you want an answer to?
That's it. It's like, how nice are these shots going to look?
They're going to look very nice, because he's very good at his job. James, any questions?
Is Is that the footage of that black magic? I don't want it.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right, so we're going to hop into Michael's video, and then I'm going to rewrite the intro. Look, I'm going to play quite a bit of this because I need you guys to digest what's happening. So this video starts with quite an artsy intro. Now, I'm just going to ignore that for now because this will play for too long. And actually, where I want to get it, does it start with? Hang on a sec.
So everything's
Yes, so it's got like a Will Smith thing. I'm going to get past that and just start where Michael starts talking.
I've been
Here we are.
doing filmmaking for a long time now. My career path is very cliche. Started off doing still photography in high school, jumped in, did some weddings, finally got into video, did some more weddings, and then started the very long journey that was low budget commercials. There's a lot of people who don't want to turn their hobby into a job, and I never really understood that growing up. But in hindsight, I actually do very much understand that. I grabbed my parents' camcorder like in 3rd or 4th grade and instantly fell in love with just looking through a viewfinder and capturing stuff. Again, very cliche war movies that I made with my friends, filming my sister's volleyball games, and just random stuff throughout the house. And so from a very young age all the way up until about high school, filmmaking was just my hobby. But I always knew that I wasn't going to go to college. I just wanted to be a filmmaker. But fast forward to after I had a couple small 9-to-5 jobs, and now I'm out on my own doing freelancing full-time, it's very easy to start to lose that passion and start to lose that why of the why you started it in the first place. So for years, I feel like I've lost my creativity. Just making mundane content both here on YouTube as well as in my commercial work, it just became kind of this repetitive, like, yep, get a new client, freak out about bills, finish that job, get paid, yay, we can breathe for, just about a day, and then, find another client. I think it's something that freelancers in all industries can definitely understand. And so my biggest supporter, my wife, for years has been like, you just look depressed at the thing that you say you love to do. I didn't realize how aimless I actually was. So back in August, my wife practically kicked me out the door, told me to buy a ticket and head to Vancouver, one of the places that I've always wanted to visit because I'm obsessed with snow-topped mountains and water and green thick forests that I could get lost in. So I took my very first solo trip to Vancouver, Canada. Let's just say things didn't exactly go as planned.
There we are, right. This is how far I'm going to take it. So one of the problems I have with this, let's see if I can unpack it by asking you guys some questions. James, 2 minutes 26 in, at 1 minute 38, what did you think this video was about?
I thought it was going to be about the struggle of becoming a YouTuber and maintaining that full time.
And was there anything you were anticipating?
I was expecting it to go into, I suppose...
Expecting is different to anticipating. Was there anything that you really wanted to know at this point?
I wanted to know the positive outcome. The result.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I was enjoying it. I love seeing the old behind-the-scenes stuff.
You like looking at the footage, right? So you're the right avatar in that you just like looking at beautiful shots, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go and watch this in a minute.
Yes, it works on you. Aaron, is there anything at this point, where you were feeling like there's some questions I want the answer to now? There's something I really want to find out.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that struck me right away was that this is not the video that the packaging says, but that's fine. We've established that. I was like relating to a lot of what he was saying, and that kind of made me want to go like, oh, do you have the solution then? Or like, did going to Vancouver
Can you
fix
remember
it?
the moment you first related to something in this video?
It's when he started talking about how when you turn your hobbies into your career, it stops being a hobby, even though it's something that you say you love.
Yeah. So, and for me, it was, I forgot my why, even though I was doing something I said I loved. I wasn't very happy doing it. James, any moment in that where you thought, yeah, I dig that?
Mine was very early on as soon as he said, we've all been here or whatever, like I can heavily relate being a freelancer for like ages. So yeah, that was like really, really near the beginning, I think, where it went through the cliches.
Yes. Okay.
Oh. So as soon as you said the cliches, we've all been here. We started picking up parents' camcorder. Yep, did that. Yeah. And I was thinking of going, yep, did that.
So
Yeah, I did relate to that as well. I was like, oh yes, I did do that.
the story is, he gets in a creative hole, which we all get in as YouTubers, massively relatable to every creator, this story. And this is obviously a journey of like solving that, right? So why not call it, I found the secret to, solving creator burnout. I found the ultimate creativity hack. Is this, something along the lines that actually focuses more on the problem that the viewer has in the title, that then you use your story as the device to show people how to solve it. Or it's like, hate creating, cure it in 3 steps. Something along these lines, right? And then suddenly this video has a point. Because the problem we have is there's no point to it in the title. There's nothing making me I really want to find out the outcome. I really want to search for something, unless it is a black magic person wanting to look at the shots. And if you did that, then yeah, it looks great. So I rewrote the intro. Again, I've taken bits of your story, and what I like is you dropped us into the dark moment, and that's often the most exciting moment. And what we need to do is make sure that people realize that this story is going to show how you overcame that dark moment. So we like to drop people into the point of most conflict to start, and then we like to show conflict unfold, and then we want to kind of take that view on the journey to show how you solve that conflict that is highly relevant to you. So every time you said something that I related to, I'm pulled in. So I just started off with this. Did you ever want to turn your hobby into a job? I did. And it actually went okay until I started doing the same job over and over again, and everything got mundane and I lost my creativity. Worse, my urge to be a filmmaker was replaced with an urge to make sure the bills were paid on time. And with ADHD and a history of depression, it just all came crashing down, and I came to a complete creative halt, which when your livelihood relies on making stuff, causes even more problems. But in August, my wife kicked me out the door and forced me onto a plane to Vancouver, one of the places I wanted to visit because I'm obsessed with snow-topped mountains. And let's just say, what happened up there changed my life forever and taught me the most valuable lesson a creative would ever learn, which I believe will stop you falling into the creativity trap. And then it goes boom, Thursday, and the story kicks off. So a couple of things with that, which I'll just sort of point out. We could probably cut it down a bit, but what we want to do is pump up some stakes in this bad boy. But in August, my wife kicked me out the door. It kind of sounds like, uh-oh, things went bad, maybe. I didn't really elaborate on that. I thought let the viewer think whatever. We've talked here at the beginning, you're not feeling great, your urge to be a filmmaker was replaced, and then it was like, oh, when your livelihood relies on making stuff causes more of a problem. So we've raised the stakes in the intro as to why this is a problem. It's not just because you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. There's bills to be paid. So the stakes are quite high in the intro straight away. This is the journey of how to overcome it, so no other creators falls into this trap. So hopefully that would have then given the video more of a point, but also more of a reason for the viewer to stick around to the end because they want to see how you overcame everything. That's kind of how I would have positioned this. I don't think you were too far off. I think it just needed a bit of tweaking. Anything to add on that, Aaron or James?
No, I think you said it all.
James is going to say something like, I preferred his version, actually.
I get so
don't say
sad
it.
when I get so sad when people put a lot of effort in and it doesn't perform. Like because I couldn't hear it properly, but I could hear that it was quite well done with music and stuff, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of good sound design. It all looked awesome. You could tell he put his heart into this.
All I'd say that there was a scene where I quite liked the moments where it was blending into the commercial, and I couldn't tell if it was the commercial or real world. Like there was a scene where the car pulled up and there was a watch, and it's like, I thought that was him acting, but it was actually part of the commercial, wasn't it? I think. I thought there could have been more of a quick montage in that sort of instance, rather than, not to say dragging, because it wasn't dragging, it was nice, but could have got to the point quicker, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think the pacing was supposed to be deliberately slow. I don't think it was designed to be advice those things. Someone said in the comments, so basically get rid of the relatable story in the intro and go for more of a Mr. Beast intro. If that's what you got from my intro, I've done a bad job. But no, I say the exact opposite. And I feel like mine was kind of more relatable and I hit a lot of the pain points of creatives. So maybe I've caused a bit of confusion there. His probably sounded like it had emotion because of the soundtrack. I didn't have it. I'll get a soundtrack with my recording next time. Anyway, but yeah, Michael, what I would say to you is like, don't give up on stuff like this, because you probably enjoyed making this more than the other stuff. When you keep banging the same drum about iPads and DaVinci Resolve and kit, it does get boring. So I feel like sometimes as YouTubers, we do need to just take these little wildcard risks and go, do you know what? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least there's something there that I'm proud of. And I bet your community loved it as well. So...
Do you know what versions of titles he went through? Because obviously
No.
the title doesn't link at all to it.
No, I don't, I'm afraid. All right, so we are going to go to our next contestant. This is Tim's Taste Travel. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Does anyone want to say that 3 times fast? James, say it 3 times fast. Tim's Taste Travel.
Tim's Taste Travel, Tim's Taste Travel, Tim's Taste Travel. No,
I like that you actually did it. All right, so we're going to hit up Tim's Travel Taste. We even got it wrong.
Tim Travel Taste.
Yeah, so this is the video we're going to be looking at. All right, Aaron, is there any objections you want to throw at this thumbnail and title?
I'm distracted from the hero. Like the idea of the hero is there, but I'm still not sure what I'm looking at. Like my eye is, like the background's really busy. I think some of that might be the composition of the image and the angle at which it was taken. But the arm behind it, I think it's an arm. The arm behind it, the person behind it, the background of the place you're in, and then the text as well. It's all drawing my eye in many different directions where I don't know what I'm looking at. And I want to look at something really impressive, right?
Yeah.
So that's the point of drawing me in is $124 worth of sushi in one sushi bite or whatever you call it. And that's the thing that I would want to see what that looks like so that I can go, whoa, does that really look like that? What does it taste like, etc.
Yeah, I agree. James?
That's sushi, is it? God, I thought it was a glass. I thought that was a glass. Is that a glass? Is that not a glass jar being smoked or something?
Yeah, so I went on
Is-
holiday last summer and we went to this restaurant and it was all fancy and they came out with this glass jar on a plate and everyone was like, oh, what's he ordered? And they put it down on my table and they pulled it up and it was just a few peas. That was it. And I was like, what is this? They're like, good peas, sir. And they just were smoked peas. Yeah. So that is a thing, apparently. But what I would say is you're almost onto something here. And I think James's reaction got that. It was like, what is this? And we kind of need maybe like a, what is this? But I want to find out rather than I'm a little confused. Yeah?
Yeah, there's a simple. I would say there's a simple solution here. Is like Aaron said, it's too busy. So you could easily cut that background out and just put it on a neutral grey or something, and then have the price, and then say sushi ? With an arrow, and then it's like, oh, is it done?
Yeah, I think that's about right. One little thing with the title, no need to write dollar. I think if you just use the dollar sign,
currency. Yeah.
boom, people are going to recognize that in a split second.
Yeah, that looks odd when you see 124 before any price.
So I'm going to reposition this, right? So let's go and play it, and then we're going to come back and discuss the point, the intro, and how we could have maybe repositioned this as a 1 out of 10 for him. So I'm just going to play the introduction. Or maybe we can skip the introduction because I know exactly where it ends because of the chapters.
Chiaro. Lo sta.
Okay, so you guys get the gist, right? Incredibly relaxing. I'm kind of like, oh, pretty nice now after watching that.
I didn't even realize that we'd passed the intro. I was like, I'm just looking.
I was trying to stop myself from doing this to the music. Like, oh, I'm alive. Whoops. Right. So the version I'm going to write is for a different avatar because I don't write chilled content, as you probably know. But yeah, there's something kind of relaxing about this and something kind of interesting about it. What do you think, Aaron? What would you have changed?
I didn't know what I signed up for, right? I didn't know what was coming. I didn't have any expectations set. I just watched someone cut fish for the first like minute. And it looked really nice, but I wasn't sure what was happening, whether you were going to critique the food, whether it was just footage of sushi, which it was, again, very nice. It looked very satisfying, but it didn't have a point to me again.
Yeah. James?
Yeah, I guess there was no like welcome message. We're just walking into a place and then there's B-roll of fish being cut, which was nice, but it could have started with like you outside the shop or something and let's go check out this expensive sushi.
James, you're on the right track there, my friend, I think.
Hang on, let me do it right. Let's go check out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, you ruined it. So, yeah. I know that videos do this can get loads of views on YouTube, and I know there's a market of people just love looking at food. It was relaxing, I like the tune. Hopefully you don't use Epidemic Sounds because they will copyright me in an instant, and that's why I use Soundstripe. Yeah, they're brutal. Every time I play go on.
You can have my license.
Every time I do a live stream and play someone's video, I come off it straight away, and it's like, boom, here's your copyright strike, Mr. Film Booth. And then it's like, well, yeah, Soundstripe's the best one. Get with Soundstripe. Official Soundstripe thumbs up, because they don't do that to me.
Not sponsored.
They're not sponsored at all. Right, so...
Epidemic. Yeah. But I mean, I'll tell you what, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect for the low views to be such nice B-roll. So that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, I think this is part of it's kind of interesting, right? But let's reposition this. So let's go back to the start and give it more of a point. And no, I'm not going to Mr. Beastify this, but I am going to YouTubeify it a little bit more. So, John Keeley's just popped into the chat and said, I'm pretty sure it is Epidemic Sounds. John's got a fantastic Twitter, by the way, if anyone wants to laugh a lot. He tells it as it is. So,
just sign up, Ed. Just sign up.
No, I'm not signing up. So, right, James said something a minute ago, which I thought was interesting, and it was like, let's go and test out this really expensive sushi. And the trend you see on YouTube time and time again is cheap versus expensive. Mr. Beast does it, Eric does it, food channels do it, Parker Welbeck does it. Like, it really is a trend that works anywhere. So I'm like, maybe we could, Bangkok's a pretty cool place. There's lots of unusual things there. Maybe we could go down to the street food stand and try some unusual sushi that's really cheap, and then pitch it maybe against some really expensive stuff. So this could have been $124 sushi versus 20-cent sushi. And then you could have had that big $125 behind the smoky random sushi thing. Or you could have done this as like a split screen, I think, where we have the smoky thing on the left and then what's under the smoky thing on the right, and it's got an arrow, like James said, $125. So with that in mind, let me address what Aaron said as well. So he was kind of like, I wasn't quite sure why I was watching. So the moment that a viewer loses the point to the video, which makes them want to get to the end of it, and forgets that, you can kind of lose them. Now, if the point is I just want to listen to some lovely copyright-free music and look at food being made, that's fine, it's going to work. But I've written an intro for maybe people who want something slightly different. So let's have a little... Right, I'm going to have a go with my intro. Are you ready, guys?
No.
Oh. I just can't excited you off on one of my intros. All right, so I've put it like this. If you were paid $235 a month to live off, would you spend $125 of that on sushi? The answer might be a quick no, but here in Bangkok, where the average person is paid just that, you are also surrounded by insanely expensive sushi. So to help travelers and local work out if spending $125 on sushi is really worth the expense, I came to Bangkok's premium sushi joint, where I'm going to order, eat, and rate as much sushi as I can. And when I'm done, I'll be heading to Bangkok's cheapest street food sushi stand to see if you can get just as good quality and experience from only 20 cents. So the idea here is we've given people a reason to stick around to the end. They're going to give them all the cool, fun, expensive stuff that's fascinating, and then the viewer's going to get to go, is it as good as the cheap stuff? And that's to me, those cheap versus expensive videos, part of me is always like, I really want to see the expensive stuff, and then you want to see the cheap, and you're kind of hoping the cheap's actually really good. I don't know about you, but I kind of want the cheap to be better than cheap. Do you know what I mean? Like, good value. So, yeah. I feel like, did that give it a point? Did I give you a point to stick around, Aaron? Would you have stuck around to the end of my intro? You can say no.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm personally don't eat fish, so it's very hard to be like, do I care about sushi? But if there's chicken sushi, then I'll have it.
It was chicken sushi, yeah.
Yes. Okay. In that case, yes, I will watch. Yeah, I think what you're saying about that
sushi?
contrast. Yeah, like a
that a
dragon
thing?
roll but with chicken inside it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Or
Raw
karaage chicken? I guess that's technically not sushi.
Don't
but,
tell Aaron, they just overcooked the fish and told him it was chicken.
But I really like that idea of the contrast as well, where obviously something that's really expensive, usually it looks really nice, and then if it's from street food, it looks like fried chicken and it still tastes good. It just looks like fried chicken, whereas at the restaurant, it's like all plated nice and stuff like that. So I'm there for that.
Good. So, sorry, I was just thinking chicken sushi came into my head again. I don't know why it's disgusting, but it shouldn't be. But yeah, Aaron, thank you very much for that. James, anything else to add?
Yeah, I would have watched it, and I thought it'd be quite cool. I was thinking this anyway, like the split screen idea could have worked throughout the video, where you do the filming of two locations and your reaction, and then you're constantly going backwards and forwards comparing, like, so you've got like a regular roll, sushi roll, compared to the cheap one and expensive one, and then you give like a rating, and that's moving on to the next one. And
Yeah.
then so in the end, you're building up to like the main event or something.
Which could have been the big smoky thing. So you could have set that up in the intro and been like, I'm going to eat from slightly cheaper sushi to the ultimate waste of sushi money. The Big Bertha, or whatever it's called, right? That would be great.
Definitely not that.
No, I like that idea. James, I think that was really good. And I think that would have been a great way to continually kind of like raise the stakes as well. The price goes up. What will he think? And the more the stakes raise, the more interesting things tend to get. Someone says in the comments, this is pre-recorded. Amazing. It's because nothing finally went wrong on my live stream for once. So, no, it's not
You've just
pre-recorded.
fixed it.
But thanks for your support. Okay, we're going to move on to our last one now. And this one's a little bit different. And slightly different things to talk about. So there's someone called Ryan sent this in. And Ryan's not presenting it. He said, what did he say? I deleted what he said, so I don't know what he said. There we are. You can tell this is not edited because I would have edited in what he actually said. So before we show this, let's go to this. So the video is called 8 home buying tasks you need to learn. Your attorney can't do them for you. Aaron, let's get some objections.
I mean, you already know what I'm gonna say.
I do.
This is a very long title. Especially on mobile, this will happen, but it's also happening here. If your title is too long, it'll end in ellipses, and I won't know what you're trying to tell me. And so even if I look at the home screen and your thumbnail's really eye-catching, I need to like hover my mouse over it to figure out what you're saying, and that's not going to draw me in. So usually, like, I would say don't use, I call them double barrel titles, but having two titles in your title, it just doesn't really help. So I understand that there's kind of the idea of, okay, 8 home buying tasks you need to learn. That's the search title, and then your attorney can't do these things for you is like the browse title. But if you don't have the ability to read the whole title, it really just doesn't actually do either of those things, and it makes me not care about the video. I don't want to put in effort of hovering over it to find out what the title is.
It's cheating, isn't it? Try having 2 titles in your title is cheating. Stick to the rules.
How dare you? Yeah, and then visually with the thumbnail, it's also still not quite eye-grabby enough, for me at least.
Yeah. James, anything you want to add?
Yeah, when I look at the thumbnail, I wouldn't be able to tell what it's about. Even when I see the word lawyer, it doesn't mean home buying to me in the slightest. It could be anything to do with, like, you know, laws or something.
Yeah, I mean...
But there's a house in the picture, James.
Yeah.
There's a house?
There.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is very, very me picking very silly fault here, but like when
That's
I see
unlike
the
you.
the LAW on the green, I'm instantly reading lawn, and I know that's just silly, but
No,
I'm
I
seeing
did. You're
lawn.
right, I did.
So instantly I'm thinking it's about garden care, and I don't know if it is or not, and I know it's not, but that was where I went straight away. And then the counter side, not sure what the X factor is. It's a bit
Saying, can't do it.
It's like, can't do it, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like
But it does feel exaggerated.
maybe something more cheesy. Like, can she be in that shot with the house and just hold the keys with a happy face instead? I don't know.
Yeah, it could be next to the house and being like, not my responsibility or something.
That is not my job.
Yeah, oh, that even not my job is a much better word. Short, nice and short on the thumbnail. Yeah, so the title's a bit clunky. Aaron summed that up lovely. One thing for me, you made this sound like I was going to have to do more work, right? So I'm currently buying a place in the UK, and it's been an utter nightmare. And yeah, it's overwhelming the amount of work you have to do when you're buying a new place. And it was like, your attorney can't do them for you. And I was like, ugh, more stuff to add to my list. This might just be me, but I was like, I don't need anything else right now. I'm just buying a house. This is a nightmare. I'll put that off. So I needed something more that created more urgency to make me do the thing that I need to do. So often YouTube is like cutting up vegetables and hiding it in your son or daughter's food. You know, they're not going to eat the broccoli. You've got to find a way to package it in a burger, slap some broccoli in there so they eat it and get all the goodness. So I wrote 8 myths everyone thought was true about buying a home. And so, oh, hang on, maybe I'm missing out on something there. 8 things you must do to sell your house fast. You could repackage that as you must do them, because the attorney ain't going to do them. You'll never sell your home if you don't do this. So that would have got me much more intrigued. And maybe made it feel like it's like this work, and I've got this title nice and short. Shall we jump in? James, I think you're going to get a kick out of this. This is hands down the best produced legal video I've seen. So ready yourself.
Today we are going to talk about what the closing attorney does not do in a real estate transaction.
Let me just start this again because I was zooming around. I clicked on the wrong one. Here we are.
Today we are going to talk about what the closing attorney does not do in a real estate transaction.
Look at this. Oh, it's going to be
So
epidemic
the first
sounds.
thing is structural and home inspections. So it's no surprise that the attorney is not a home inspector. So the attorney doesn't make any representation about the structural integrity of the home or the condition that it is in. The next thing is that the closing attorney does not procure or prepare a survey. And depending on the state that you're coming from when you move to North Carolina, this may come as a surprise to you. I've learned in New York, in some areas, a survey is required.
All right, I'm going to stop there. What are your thoughts? Anything that stick out to you that maybe put you off, Aaron?
It from the get-go felt very much like a list video, which I know is obviously kind of the intentional here, but I don't like them. Because, yeah, it generally is a case of like, oh, as soon as you say the thing, I can skip to the next one and find out the information much quicker than sitting through your explanation of the point you're trying to make, right? And I also kind of missed the intro. It didn't, again, give me like enough of a sense of, oh, I really should watch this, otherwise such almost swore stuff's gonna go wrong. So I would want a bigger setup of stakes and maybe a little bit more relatability for your avatar in there, so that it's a case of, I recognize this situation you're describing, and therefore I need the information you're about to provide me.
Nice. James?
Yeah, I think I got lost because you told me about the production, so I was just watching that.
Don't blame me for your bad attention span.
So when Aaron said about the intro, it was like, oh yeah, I didn't actually hear the intro. Was there an intro? I guess there was, but I was too busy looking at the stock footage and how the next transition is going to happen. So yeah, I might need to watch it again.
Well, I mean, the set looks great, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
the set's
simple,
cool.
but looks wicked. These B-roll shots were great. The editor's done a great job. Like, I was like, similar thing to what you guys said, though. I actually was like, oh, this looks wicked. And then I was like, wait, what did she say? Now, I think that might be because we're all in production. I don't think people who maybe are would maybe have got so excited about the B-roll. So I don't think that's a bad thing. But for me, you made me feel stupid. So I am not a smart guy at all. Like, everything is a struggle. I struggle to read. I struggle to like pay attention to anything. And let me find these words. Integral to the structure, the closing attorney does not procure. And I was like, integral to the structure, the closing attorney does not procure? What the heck does that mean? Now, I'm coming at this from a very basic level, but there were some really big words, and I didn't really know what a closing attorney was. It's probably from the UK. So I thought, you could maybe just slip in a metaphor here for dum-dums like me to try and make sure everyone kind of understands and everyone's on the same page really quick. So you could have put something in like, a closing attorney is like a helper who makes sure that everything is done correctly when you buy or sell a house. However, there are some things you can't do. The first thing a closing can't do, oh no, hang on a sec. Yeah, here we are. So the first thing a closing attorney can't do is the same reason the doctor can't tell you if you're sick just by looking at you. They need to ask some questions and do some tests first, right? So you've set it up in a way where I'm like, okay, cool. I know the role of the closing attorney. I now understand this in a really simple way. And I feel smart again. And actually going through this process right now, and constantly having legal people send me things where I'm going to ChatGPT and being like, can you explain this to me like I'm 5? That lawyers are not very good at simplifying things for regular people. And you know, it might seem obvious to you, but to me, I just end up feeling dumb. And I don't like replying to their emails because they're using all the big words, right? So that's what I would say. I think your set is really inviting. I think you've got a great vibe here with the editing. All of this production sets you apart. I just want you to be the lawyer that makes me feel smart. So anything you can do to simplify these words that might, you know, mean something to you, to regular people like me, I reckon that's going to be really good for your attention. Aaron, you're a very smart guy. What did you think of...
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I think that might have been part of the reason as to why I was, similar to James, just kind of paying attention to the visuals, because I was hearing what you were saying, but not understanding enough of it to make that the part that I care about, which is kind of why I was like, it didn't feel like there was stakes for me. It didn't feel relatable, because I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It looks really good, but I have no idea what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? So it became a case of me trying to justify watching this because I didn't understand it, but it looked really good, so I kept watching.
Okay, it's nice that you felt that way,
Can you play
James.
the first 10 seconds again?
Yeah, will you pay attention this time though, James?
Yeah, I will. I'm not going to look at it.
Today, we are going to talk about what the closing attorney does not do in a real estate transaction. So the first thing is structural and home inspections. So it's no surprise that the attorney is not a home inspector. So the attorney doesn't make any representation about the structural integrity of the home or
Representation of the structural integrity of the home.
I guess it could do with a bit of your presenting schwam that you do. You know, where you go up and down quite a lot. Like, it was all very flowing.
Oh, hang
same
on,
thing.
hold on. We can't just gloss over this. Presenting schwam that I do. What is that?
That's right.
Have you not noticed, Ed, how every time you read a script today, you put on an entirely different voice?
Yeah, because that's. Did you see that? I made a video about how I have a character when he presents. And his name's Ed, and he's from Film Booth, and that's who steps on. Like a closing attorney is like a helper who makes sure that everything is done correctly. Yeah. And then I'm back in the room. Yeah. So I know what you mean, right? So I kind of get it. There could be more emphasis. I don't think.
Yeah,
There's...
I'm not saying it's monotone. I'm just saying it was all one level, and I didn't like it. It almost like felt like it needed like a chapter, like a. Right now we're going to talk about the first thing, the
first
structural
thing.
integrity,
Yeah,
or-
there was one point
Yeah.
where the points. I wasn't quite sure if we'd moved on to the next or not.
Yeah.
So
I think this is why we all missed the intro, was because it was one sentence. It was, today we're going to look at what a closing attorney does not do.
I don't know how we missed it. It was in big bold
that
green
was it.
yellow letters.
yeah.
Yeah, but I that was it. So I was like, well, okay, so there's no real build up. There's no stakes. It's just for someone who already knows what a closing attorney is, they're going to know like, oh, these are things I should know. But for everyone else, it's like, what's happening?
Yeah. Do you know what? Also, because I got really lazy when I was watching this, I was like, I paused it and went inspections, surveys, environmental reviews, flood zones, septic, zoning, insurance. Cool. I know what they don't do now. Have a look at your retention. You'll see if there's dips or not from that. But I'm one of those awful people that would just read every chapter and go, I learned that. Move on. Like, I can't be alone. So, yeah, good. I think.
There's only one other comment on it,
Yeah.
and this is just my. I get one little bonus criticism. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, fine. Yeah, maybe you do.
Your Shure SM7B that you're using, Ed's got a little.
Can you just
desktop
explain what that is to
stand.
people who don't know? We've just been talking about simplifying things. There we are.
Your microphone, there's a much less busy version of a stand that you could get, what will sit exactly where your desk is, and I think that would just make your set a little bit cleaner. Like the one that you got, Ed.
The one I'm using right now.
Maybe.
Lift
Hang
it
on a
up.
Yes.
Ooh,
There.
even.
See how much?
Oh,
you see how much
Jesus.
less room that's taking up than this contraption.
I thought that was to do with sound and desk vibration and not knocking it and stuff, but I'm not a sound expert.
But she's still attached on the desk, so it
True.
wouldn't help.
True. Okay, that's fair enough, James. Maybe get it out of shot.
Yeah.
A couple of people wrote in the comments, how do we get our channel on this? I have a newsletter every week. I put a lot of effort into it. It's not just spam. Every week I send an email out to people, teaching them new stuff. And when I do these lives, I say, you can apply. And I'll pick channels at random and do this. I'd love to do this way more often. Life got in the way. It was supposed to be like a bi-weekly thing. Guys, did you enjoy this? If you enjoyed it, we can do it again sometime. If people in the comments enjoyed it, it'd be nice to get a few likes and a few thumbs up to encourage us to do it again. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good fun. James, good fun?
The flop shop. Yeah, I want to. Like I said, I want a jingle.
We'll make a jingle for the flop shop. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, guys, thank you very much for those who turn up live. Thank you for watching not live. And I will see you next time, hopefully. Guys, wave. Bye.
Oh.